Darkness fell upon the Tower of London. The ancient stones seemed to absorb the night, casting long, eerie shadows that danced in the moonlight. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl or the distant howl of the wind. It was a night that seemed to hold its breath, waiting for something to happen. Two young boys, Edward V and his younger brother Richard, were confined within these cold, unfeeling walls. They were the sons of King Edward IV, rightful heirs to the throne, but now they were prisoners in their own kingdom, huddled together in their cold stone chamber. The boys tried to find comfort in each other's presence. The room was dimly lit by a single flickering candle, casting ghostly shadows on the walls. The stone floor was hard and unforgiving, and the chill in the air seemed to seep into their very bones. Fear clung to them like a shroud. They were alone. Where was their mother? Where were their friends? The questions swirled in their young minds, each one more terrifying than the last. They had heard whispers of betrayal and treachery, but they were too young to fully understand the danger they were in. Why were they kept locked away? The door to their chamber was heavy and solid, a barrier that kept them from the outside world. The small barred window offered little more than a glimpse of the night sky, a reminder of the freedom they had lost. The boys clung to each other, their whispers swallowed by the thick stone walls. They spoke of their father, their home, and the life they once knew. Their voices were soft, barely more than a murmur, as if they feared the very walls might betray them. Their small breaths echoed their growing terror. Each inhale was sharp and quick, each exhale a shuddering sigh. The darkness seemed to press in on them, a tangible force that made it hard to breathe. Outside their door, footsteps echoed in the silence. The sound was slow and deliberate, each step a reminder of their captivity. The boys listened intently, their hearts pounding in their chests. The heavy thud of boots on stone was a sound they had come to dread. It meant someone was coming, but who? The uncertainty was almost worse than the fear itself. The scrape of metal against metal sent shivers down their spines. It was a harsh, grating sound that seemed to cut through the silence like a knife. What did it mean? Was it a guard or something more sinister? The boys held their breath, their hearts pounding in unison. They stared at the door, wide-eyed and trembling, waiting for it to open. Each second felt like an eternity. Who was out there, friend or foe? The question hung in the air, heavy and oppressive. The boys could only wait and hope, their fate uncertain, their future a dark and terrifying mystery. The year was 1483. It was a time of great turmoil and uncertainty in England, a kingdom that had been torn apart by internal strife and power struggles for decades. The Wars of the Roses, a series of dynastic conflicts, had left the nation divided and weary. The struggle for the throne had pitted two powerful houses against each other, each determined to claim the crown and secure their legacy. England, a kingdom riven by conflict, was caught in the grip of the Wars of the Roses. This brutal civil war saw the House of York and the House of Lancaster vying for control, their battles leaving a trail of bloodshed and devastation across the land. The common people, caught in the crossfire, could only watch as their lives were upended by the ambitions of the nobility. The Wars of the Roses were marked by fierce battles and shifting alliances. Knights in shining armor clashed on muddy fields, their swords gleaming under the banners of their respective houses. The air was thick with the cries of the wounded and the dying, the ground stained with the blood of those who fought for their lord's ambitions. The House of York, represented by a white rose, stood in stark contrast to their rivals. Their emblem, a symbol of purity and strength, was a rallying point for their supporters. The Yorkists believed in their right to rule, their claim to the throne bolstered by their victories on the battlefield, and the House of Lancaster, symbolized by a red rose, battled for the throne with equal fervor. The red rose, a symbol of passion and determination, embodied their resolve to reclaim the crown. The Lancastrians too had their share of triumphs and setbacks, their fortunes rising and falling with the tides of war. Edward IV, a Yorkist king, had recently died, leaving behind a kingdom in disarray. His death marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in the struggle for power. Edward's reign had been marked by both triumph and turmoil, his legacy a complex tapestry of victories and challenges, leaving behind two young sons, Edward V and Richard, Duke of York. These young princes, mere children, were thrust into the heart of a deadly game of thrones. Their youth and innocence stood in stark contrast to the ruthless world of medieval politics, where alliances were fragile and betrayal was commonplace. As the rightful heir, young Edward was confined to the Tower of London, a fortress that had long served as both a royal residence and a prison. The Tower, with its imposing walls and dark history, was a place of both safety and danger. For Edward, it was meant to be a sanctuary, a place where he could await his coronation in relative security, awaiting his coronation with his loyal and playful brother by his side. Richard, Duke of York, was his constant companion, the two brothers finding solace in each other's company amidst the uncertainty of their situation. They played and dreamed within the stone walls, unaware of the dark fate that awaited them. But the tower, meant to be a place of safety, soon transformed into a prison. The walls that were supposed to protect them became their captors, the corridors echoing with the footsteps of guards and the whispers of conspiracies. The young princes found themselves trapped in a web of intrigue and danger, their fate hanging in the balance, soon transformed into a prison. The once grand halls of the tower became a place of fear and uncertainty, the shadows growing longer as the days passed. The boys, once full of hope and promise, began to realize the peril of their situation. The tower's dark history seemed to close in around them, the weight of their lineage a heavy burden. The boys, mere pawns in the dangerous game of thrones, vanished into the shadows, their fate a mystery that has haunted history for centuries. Their disappearance remains one of the most enduring enigmas of the medieval period, a story of innocence lost and power corrupted. The young princes, symbols of a lost era, continue to captivate the imagination, their story a poignant reminder of the human cost of ambition. Their fate, a mystery that has haunted history for centuries. The story of the young princes is a tale of intrigue and tragedy, a chapter in the annals of history that refuses to be closed. The ancient documents and faded writings that tell their story are a testament to the enduring fascination with their fate, a mystery that continues to inspire and haunt us to this day. The principal suspect in the disappearance of the princes in the tower has long been their own uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, who later ascended the throne as Richard III. This dark chapter in English history has intrigued historians and scholars for centuries, sparking countless debates and theories about Richard's true nature and intentions. Ambition, it is said, can be a powerful motivator. For Richard, ambition was not merely a desire, but a driving force that shaped his every action. His rise to power was marked by strategic moves, much like a game of chess, where each decision could mean the difference between victory and defeat. Richard, a shrewd and capable leader, was named Lord Protector of the realm upon his brother's death, tasked with safeguarding the young king until he came of age. This position of power, however, came with its own set of challenges and temptations. The young king, Edward V, and his brother, were placed in the Tower of London, ostensibly for their protection. However, whispers of treachery soon began to circulate. Rumors spread like wildfire through the court and the streets, suggesting that Richard had more sinister plans for his nephews. The atmosphere was thick with suspicion and fear, as allies and enemies alike watched Richard's every move. Richard declared his nephews illegitimate, claiming their parents' marriage invalid. This bold move shocked the nation and paved the way for Richard to claim the throne. The declaration was met with both support and outrage, dividing the kingdom and setting the stage for further conflict. With his path clear, Richard III seized the throne for himself, casting a long shadow of suspicion over the fate of the young princes. His reign, though brief, was marked by controversy and intrigue, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of history. The mystery of the princes in the tower remains unsolved, a haunting reminder of the lengths to which ambition can drive a man. The evidence against Richard III, though largely circumstantial, remains compelling. The disappearance of the boys coincided suspiciously with his rise to power. Rumors of their murder, whispered behind closed doors and spread by Richard's enemies, painted him as a ruthless usurper willing to do anything to secure his crown. Centuries later, in 1685, bones believed to belong to two children were discovered buried beneath a staircase in the Tower of London. While scientific analysis of the time was limited, the discovery fueled the belief that Richard III had ordered their deaths, forever staining his reign with the blood of his nephews. Section 5. The suspect, Henry VII, securing the Tudor dynasty. However, history is a tapestry woven with threads of intrigue and deceit. Richard III was not the only player on this deadly chessboard. Another figure emerges from the shadows, Henry Tudor, Earl of Richmond, who would later defeat Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth Field and claim the throne as Henry VII, the first Tudor king. Henry, eager to secure his own tenuous claim to the throne, had every reason to eliminate the young princes, removing any potential Yorkist claimants and solidifying his grip on power. Section 6. The evidence, a crown stained with doubt. While Henry VII seemed to benefit most from the prince's disappearance, concrete evidence remains elusive. There are no documented orders for their deaths, no confessions whispered on deathbeds, yet the timing of their disappearance, coinciding with Henry's rise to power, casts a long shadow of suspicion. Did Henry, eager to establish the Tudor dynasty, silence the young princes forever? Section 7, Lost to History, forever in question. The mystery of the princes in the Tower remains unsolved to this day. Did Richard III, driven by ambition, order their deaths? Or did Henry VII, seeking to secure his own claim to the throne, eliminate his rivals? Perhaps other forces were at play, unknown figures lurking in the shadows of history. Without concrete evidence, the truth remains shrouded in mystery, a puzzle with missing pieces. Section 8, A Mystery for the Ages. The disappearance of the princes in the Tower serves as a chilling reminder of the brutal realities of power. In the Game of Thrones, there are no innocent bystanders, only players and pawns. The young princes, caught in the crossfire of ambition and treachery, became victims of their birthright. Their fate a tragic footnote in the annals of English history. Their story compels us to question the motives of those who sought power and the lengths to which they were willing to go to achieve their ambitions. Section 9. What became of the princes in the Tower? Were they murdered by their uncle, their innocent blood staining the Tower walls? Did they meet their end at the hands of Henry VII, their deaths paving the way for a new dynasty? Or did they suffer some other unknown fate, lost to time, and forever shrouded in mystery? The answer, like the boys themselves, remains lost in the shadows of history, a chilling reminder that some secrets are never meant to be revealed. For more stories like this, please like and subscribe to Oblivion Unlocked.